There's so much advice out there on how to be successful, on how to make more money, but this is what changed the game for me. If you're looking for ways to increase your likelihood of success, then here are the 3 changes that I have made since 2015, whenever I first started to become an entrepreneur, all the way to today in 2024 and where we're going and beyond. Now, back in 2015, that is when I started to look for other income opportunities outside of my day-to-day job. I was really miserable in my 9-to-5 job and looking for ways to be at home with my family and spend more time with friends and have some time freedom and autonomy. And I started an Amazon e-commerce business that was just a side hustle for me and that I was doing on the weekends. And throughout the years, I decided that I wanted to pursue that full time. And in 2018 is whenever I decided that I was going to go full time in that business and quit my 9-to-5 job and solely focus on Amazon and e-commerce. And in that year, I made 2 main changes. And then in 2020, I made that 3rd change that has really helped my ability to be more successful, as well as some things that I can teach you to increase your likelihood of succeeding once you make these 3 changes. Now, in 2018, that's when I first instituted a calendar. Now, as you can see here, this is my very first calendar in 2018 that I started with. It's a paper calendar. I've actually bought the same exact one for the last 7 years at this point. It's 2024, so this would be the 7th year that I've bought the same calendar. And I really love the ability to have a calendar because it required me in 2018, whenever I was quitting my job, it required me to focus on the activities that I needed to get done. Not only did it give me a place that I could write down everything that I had to do each day, but it's also allowed me to go back and see the things that I was working on back in 2018 versus the things that I'm working on now in 2024. And so it's been kind of an amazing journey to go back and check out. But the key point with a calendar is that you are writing down tasks that you're going to actually have to be doing. It allows you to not forget things that you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis, and it just gives you that ability to know that you're working on what you need to work on each and every day. It also allows you to audit your time even more. Now, as you're auditing your time, you may see that you're spending a lot of time on activities that are wasting your time or activities that aren't revenue driven, and so that is going to give you the ability to really adjust in real time as you look at your calendar and see how your time is actually being spent or invested each day. Now, another thing that I did with the calendar was get an online calendar in addition. So not only did I start using the paper calendar, but I also have a Google Calendar. And for me, that just helps me to make better appointments. I can send automatic scheduling links for my calendar, and it just allows other people to be able to access it as needed and not need access to my paper calendar. So I actually have both. I recommend using both. And I've done a video on time management on this YouTube channel that I recommend you check out as well, that will help you to implement this calendar and this system in a much better and more organized way. Now, also in 2018, I realized the importance of needing to outsource activities. And so that was the 2nd major change that I made, which was outsourcing things that I didn't need to be doing so that other people could be doing those and I could focus on higher level activities. In 2018, I realized that I had so many activities that I needed to do, but I couldn't do them all. And so I needed to outsource certain activities that were maybe a little bit lower level in my business so that then I could focus on those high level revenue generating, profit generating activities. And for me in an Amazon business, that meant outsourcing my prep and ship. That meant outsourcing some of my shopping for the items that I send in on my Amazon business. That meant just getting rid of some of the day-to-day account management tasks and things that were repetitive, but ultimately weren't something that I should have been doing. And so as soon as I made that change in my business of outsourcing specifically the prep and ship processes of sending items to Amazon, that allowed me to go from $25,000 per month in sales to over $70,000 per month in sales in just 2 months. Now, I know that that's not typical results for most people. However, as you're starting to outsource activities, you're going to see revenue going up because now you can focus on other things. However, if you outsource activities and you spend your time on Netflix or on social media and not actually building your business, then you will not see a positive result from outsourcing those activities. But if you're looking to outsource activities, there's a few different places you can do so. The first place that I look is going to be to software. Now, as I'm looking at software, I want to see that it's going to free up my time, that it's going to cost me less than I'm going to make by adding in that software program. and that it's something that isn't too difficult to get started into my business. If it's got an easy roadmap for me to get started, then that allows me to know that I don't have to spend a ton of time learning this software. Now, there are certain activities and software programs where you may need to spend a huge amount of time looking into them, but ultimately it's not going to be the majority of the software programs out there. So you want something that's going to be easy for you to install in your business, that you can follow that process and allow the software to do that work for you. For me in my Amazon business, that meant a repricing software. That meant an inventory management software like Replan Dashboard. That meant a financial calculating software such as RevSeller or Inventory Lab. These software programs are an easy, immediate thing that I can add into my business that allowed me to spend less time on those activities day to day. Now, the next thing that you can look to outsource to would be a virtual assistant. Virtual assistants do require time and management for you to spend to teach them and train them. However, you are typically outsourcing those lower level tasks in your business, the things that are repetitive, such as email management or even calendar management and some of the other smaller tasks, because you want to start with those things that are a little bit simpler for you to get off your plate and give to somebody else. You can also outsource to a virtual assistant some of the higher level tasks. Maybe it's video editing. Maybe it is some of the more complex purchasing decisions in your business, but that's going to require finding a specialized virtual assistant and finding somebody that has more skills, and so it's going to cost you a little bit more money in those instances. Now, the third place you can outsource to would be a service provider. That would be a company that's already doing things for you, such as bookkeeping or taxes or doing prep and ship or any of these other activities that you wouldn't be doing, but they are a service provider that have processes and procedures, and you are able to just easily give them the activities that you have in your business and they can take them over. They're going to cost a little bit more though, quite a bit more potentially, than a virtual assistant and a software. And then the last place you can outsource to, which I chose to actually in 2018, is to local employees or independent contractors that you train and you put into your business. Now, an independent contractor, technically you shouldn't be training them. They should have the training already, know how to do it, and you just install them into your business. But with employees, you are training them, you're giving them a schedule, you're paying them payroll, etc. And so with that, it's going to require much more time and cost for you to be able to install them. So if at all possible, if there's a software that can do it, outsource there first. If not a software, then look at a virtual assistant. If not a virtual assistant, then look at a service provider. And if there's none of those three that you can install into your business for these activities, then look at doing an employee or an independent contractor. And now what that has done for me is it's actually become a preference for me. A lot of activities in my businesses now, because I have multiple, is looking at what can I outsource and how do I do this as quickly as possible. If there are experts in the field, I'm going to outsource it to them versus me trying to learn it and replicate and fail along the way. If I can outsource to someone that can do this or a software that can do this, I will be doing that almost immediately and making sure that my pricing for my business matches, including those costs into the business, because it just frees up my time. My time is the most important asset. It's very valuable for me to spend it on the high level activities that I need to do in my multiple businesses. And that brings me to the third point, which may seem a little bit counterintuitive, but for me was more of a mindset shift about making sure that I prioritized the most important aspects to me in my life over prioritizing my business in my life. And that change actually happened in 2020 whenever I realized that I was allowing my business to control my life and I wasn't controlling my business. I needed to put forth the effort to make sure that I focused on God, on family, on friends, on the important things in my life, and that the business then served those things versus me serving the business. Now, that third change is making sure that you prioritize or put things in the right priority in your business and in your life. Now, you may be asking, how do I do this? Because I have so many other activities going on in my business, I can't manage my time well, I have too many things to do. How am I supposed to put other things first before my business when my business is taking up so much of my time? Well, that's why these first two exist. One, having a calendar to organize yourself allows you to be better using your time, tracking your time, seeing where your time is going. But then the second thing is outsourcing, because you need to start outsourcing certain activities that other people can do so that then you have the ability to prioritize the most important things in your life. The biggest risk you run with running a business is that it will run you into the ground, and you need to make sure that you put your life, your family, your friends, your relationship with God, everything that's most important to you, you need to put those things first. And so what I do with my calendar actually is I will put my time with God, my time with family and friends, etc., into my calendar first. And then I will make sure that I fill in in the calendar after that with all of my important business activities that I need to do. That way I'm prioritizing family time first. I'm prioritizing the important stuff first over prioritizing my business first and seeing where my family and friends and other activities can fit into my calendar. That's never a good way to run your life. That's not the reason that you're starting this business. Most people are doing business so that they can spend more time doing those important activities. And in most cases, people start the business with the best of intentions, and then the business takes over their life and they can no longer do anything that they were hoping to do. And so that's why it's so important to start with this. Put your priorities first into your calendar. Start outsourcing activities so that you have more time available for those. And then business becomes much more fun. You begin to see more of the excitement again for your business. And it's just an excellent place to start looking for ways to succeed then, because you're starting from a growth mindset at that point. This is how it can increase your success. It allows you to say, hey, what makes me most successful? Well, for me, I quit my job so that I could spend time with family and friends and, focus on my relationship with God and even have more time for working out and doing things that I wanted to do. And so for me, having success is by prioritizing my time in the best way. And so how do I do that? Then we need to work on the calendar, we need to work on outsourcing, and then we can see things start to succeed. Because once you've built in these other two things, then you're going to see that you have more capacity to add in new revenue streams or add in new things into your business that then you outsource to other people, and it can all help you to grow and scale from there. Now be sure to comment below with some lifestyle changes that you recommend to be more successful in your business. What do you think about these changes and kind of the journey here? I'm sure after 2024, I'm going to learn way more things in my own businesses and my life. I'm excited to hear from you. Maybe you can teach me some things on what I can try to implement as well to continue to increase the likelihood of success by making small lifestyle changes that serve that ultimate goal. So I hope this video helps you and blesses you, and you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.